Wings of Silver, Nerves of Steel, we are taking a look at the Super7 Ultimates SilverHawks Bluegrass right now on Toy Habits Reviews. And before we dive into the review, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and we are taking a detailed look at Bluegrass from the Super7 SilverHawks Ultimates line. And before we dive in, we wanted to send a huge shout out to entertainmentearth for providing a copy of Bluegrass so we can review him. Alright, and Bluegrass comes in the brown shipper box that has the SilverHawks logo on it, and you can see the name Bluegrass on here. And once we open this figure up, they usually come packed in these plastic bags that are used to protect the outer box. And as you can see, this is actually going to be a really reflective box. So let's crack this sucker open and we can take a closer look at the packaging. And right now I can see that this package is going to be really nice, and it's super reflective as we saw. Let's see if we can, yep, you can see the box catching the camera as in the reflection. So I'm just going to leave this off to the side so we don't get all the reflections going on, but you can see the nice SilverHawks logo, and very apropos for the SilverHawks to have a silver box. And once you open this up, you can take a look at the figure itself and how he's packed out in the box. So getting a closer look at the outer packaging, it's really neat. They have the Super7 Ultimates logo with more of a space theme around the side, and it's blue, kind of bleeding into more of a darker navy blue and black. On the back of the box, we have a really nice shot of Bluegrass, and you can also see his bio right there. All right, so let's take a closer look at the pack out and the figure, and we will be back in a moment. So one of the cooler things about the Super7 figures is the insane amount of accessories that this particular figure and other figures like this come with. So for example, so many hands, so many heads, so many accessories, 2 whips, 2 guitars, lots of effects. So let's crack this open and take a closer look. All right, and here is Bluegrass with his insane pack out, and he comes with a ton of hands. So let's turn our attention to the accessories here, and I'm not going to show you all the hands, but some of the more interesting ones. So for example, he has a normal looking skin colored hand that looks like he might be holding a neck of a guitar, which is great. There's also one where he looks like he is holding a guitar pick, so that's really apropos for Bluegrass. And he does come with 2 lasso accessories, one that is bundled up, and this is more of a squishy type of material, and it actually looks nice. It's actually cool that they've bundled this and made it look like he can sling it around his shoulder and carry it. He also has another lasso here that is a little bit tied up right now, but you can untangle it, and it looks like kind of more of a noose, if you will, at the top here for the knot. And it's got a very cool feel to it. And it's not a wiry material, it's just plastic, so it won't bend and stay in place. And next up, let's move on to the guitar straps, and I'm only going to take a look at one of these because they are both the same, but it's actually nice that he comes with 2 guitar straps just because he comes with 2 guitars, and it's nice that you don't have to interchange the straps. And speaking of which, let's take a look at the first guitar, and this is hot links that he was using in the cartoon from the 80s, and the design of the guitar is really nice. It's got some really nice detail, and the guitar strings are actually a sculpted plastic on here, so they're not steel. And as you can see, it does come with a port that you can plug in the various blast effects that the figure comes with, and you can see that this plugs into the port right here and fits very nicely, but that's probably not the one that you're going to be using most often for this one. He also does come with his musical notes, which is a blast effect. And in the series, he would be blasting out these musical notes from hot links. So let's check out to see how this plugs in here, and we can take a closer look at what it looks like with these musical notes. And it looks, I mean, this guitar looks awesome. And once we get this on the figure, it's going to look even better. But let's take a closer look at the musical notes themselves. And it's made of a translucent clear plastic with white notes and with a nice blue blast effect on the outside here, which is really, really nice. And you can see that the blue kind of bleeds more into the clear, and you can kind of see makes more of a liner note kind of effect when this is all blasted out, and you can see this as one piece. All right, and the next guitar that he comes with is his trusty sidekick Sideman. And it's very interesting because later in the series they made bird friends. And so these were created by the Steel Twins for Bluegrass. And so you can see this basically is the alternate version of Sideman, and you can see the guitar here, and you can see the bird head on the front of the guitar on the neck, and you can also see the sculpted strings, and you can also see from the back, you know, it kind of mimics the bird feet at the bottom and some of the tails and the tail wings and things like that. So really cool piece. And you also get two different versions of Sideman. So here is Sideman just in a perched form, and the wings don't articulate, which is fine because we have an open version of Sideman that we'll take a look at in a bit. But he has some really cool talons that have some nice detail, and you can also see from the top that we have the sculpted strings and also the guitar-like detail that kind of completes the look of Sideman. And he's got a really cool bird-looking face that they've painted on here. And it looks like he's got some rivets on the top here just to complete the look. And we also have a version of Sideman with his wings spanned open. So very similar piece. And we get a chance to see Sideman with his mouth open, and we can see those really cool talons that he has right there. So very cool looking homage to the sidekick they call Sideman. All right, the last accessory that we will take a look at is Bluegrass's cowboy hat, and would not be complete without his cowboy hat. And it looks like a regular 10-gallon hat that is more kind of tannish yellow with a red band around, and it has a nice brown paint app on the underside. All right, so now that we have taken a look at the accessories, let's take a closer look at Bluegrass himself. All right, now let's take a closer look at Bluegrass himself, and you can see that this is not the chrome version that we saw in the vintage figure, and it's really interesting because if the camera catches the light at the right angle, you can kind of see that it has more of a shinier pearlescent feel to the paint, look and feel. So very well done on the paint app here, and the head sculpt looks really, really nice. And if we zoom in just to get a closer look here, we can see some more of the details, and you can see that he's got some nice sculpting detail around the helmet, on his ears, and you can see that the face sculpt came out really nice, the way that they painted the eyes and the eyebrows, and just the overall face sculpt of the figure really pays homage to the cartoon version. And he does come with a red scarf that is not sculpted on, so you can move it around. You can also see some of the ab detail that they gave him, and you know, his normal looking arm, which is more has human skin, you know, versus his bluer suit. And moving down to the waist, he does have more of a belt buckle on his waist piece there, and a lot of the details here are, you know, just a really simple design for the figure. He has some nice silver detail on the boots, and he has some really, really nice loafers for the figure. So let's take a closer look at some other of Bluegrass's head sculpts. And he does come with a couple different head sculpts. So these are packed individually, and we have more of a smirking look with one raised eyebrow, which is really well done. And the overall design of the helmet is very similar or the same as the one that is mounted on the head sculpt when he comes in the package. And even little attentions to detail here, they even included the little divot in his chin there. So looks really nice. And we have another head sculpt where he's got a more of a smirking look to him and a winking look, which is neat. So anyways, very well done. Very nice looking head sculpt, and we'll give you an alternate display piece if you choose to put that on. All right, so he does come with his cowboy hat. So let's take a look at what that looks like on his head. And one of the cooler things is that they actually made a slit for the cowboy hat so his head can fit in very nicely. So let's take a look at that. All right, and this is only made to fit on one way, so if you put it on, it kind of cinches down on his head there, which is really nice. Gives him a really cool look and a very iconic look for Bluegrass like we saw in the cartoon. Now, one of the cool things that you can do with Bluegrass, because he does come with all of these different looks, is just give him some really cool poses, and you can put him with a lot of accessories that he comes with. So here he is kind of holding his Hot Links guitar with his thumbs up, and I really love this particular head sculpt here because it just looks really iconic and super cool, and you can also plug his musical notes in there as a blast effect to make it even cooler. All right, and we are going to zoom out really wide here, and you can see I've got his alternate hand, which looks like he is playing the guitar and blasting out these musical notes. So it's a really, really cool piece, and I think probably most people are going to display this figure this way, but he actually looks really, really cool. But mental note, just make some room on the shelf for him. And here we have Sideman perched on his left arm, and it looks really, really cool. The talons are made of a more of a flexible material, so they can wrap around and kind of form fit to his forearm here. So very different looks for this figure, and you can kind of see around kind of how this looks from the back as well. So a lot of different options for Bluegrass to display him like you want it. All right, and finally the last one I want to show here is just Sideman in guitar form. So you can see the guitar strap fits on really nicely, and he kind of plugs into the back of Sideman here, and it's a very cool look for the figure. And I chose him to leave him without his hat just so you could see what that looks like. And that's a wrap on the review for the Super7 Ultimates SilverHawks Bluegrass, so let us know what you think about this figure in the comments below. Also, be sure to head over to entertainmentearth to purchase this figure or any figure using the coupon code TOYHABITS, and if it's in stock, you get 10% off and free shipping for orders over $59, so save some scratch and buy the toys you love at Entertainment Earth, and we'll see you next time on Toy Habits Reviews.